What's going on, folks? Welcome aboard the lifeboat. This is Captain Calhoun speaking. This one today is about friendship and what it means to you. I think that this concept and idea, this conversation, is just as important today as it was when we originally aired this episode. In fact, I think it's even more relevant today than it ever has been before. So please enjoy, and thanks for being aboard the lifeboat.
Honestly, I don't blame you. What it comes down to, people, is look, this is what it comes down to, honestly, because you can throw it all out the window. Here's what it comes down to. I'm a firm believer in friendship above all else. Above all else. I think that when you become a friend with somebody, that you stick with that. And we're going to go through tough times. I've gone through tough times with people on this boat right now that are listening to the sound of my voice. I've had screaming matches with people right now who are probably listening to me. I don't know if Pagan is on tonight. I love Pagan to death. Pagan and I we've gone at each other. Come on, at each other. And I mean in an ugly fashion. And you know what? We got nothing but love for one another. It happens when you care about somebody and you're really pulling in the same direction. And there are things that are going on that are, folks, we deal with life and death here, right? And I'm taking nothing away from what they're dealing with. What they're dealing with is life and death. It's a different kind, but make no mistake, that's life and death, right? So, yeah, I agree with you, lean on me. I'm loyal to my peeps. I am. It's I'm gonna look at all of the channels, and I'm going to make decisions one at a time based on what the actions are. I think that the fact that this is being done right now is damage control. I'm not particularly impressed with that. I think it's something that probably should have been talked about long before this. For real, this is a reaction. That's not what you do. It's not classy. It really isn't. What you do is you come out and say, hey, thank you so much for the unbelievable work that you have done for this organization. Putting it on the map, really opening up an entire new venue in terms of bringing in money, in terms of raising finances so that this organization can do amazing things. Those things are the kind of things that you say when someone leaves. I remember leaving an organization that I spoke for, and you know what, people, I was a heroin addict, and I was a absolute degenerate. And the things that they said about me on the way out the door, you would have thought I was the nicest person on planet Earth. And do you know why? Because the cause is bigger than me. Because the cause is bigger than any petty argument. The cause is bigger than any of the BS, right? Or it should be. But this to me stinks like a lot of people with egos. But forget all that. Friendship. In what we do here, friendship is essential. I've talked to people every day that help me immensely with my journey, and not all of them are friends of mine. There are people that I talk to who are paid to talk to me, and they're paid to listen to my problems and to help me try to work through them. Right? These are professionals who, and I'm not complaining. I've gotten immense help from the people that I work with. But I'm not going to call them friends by any stretch. It's not what they are. They're not. They're professionals. They're counselors, right? They're doctors. They're people who are helping me to live my best life. Now, this pure stuff, there are people that I work with who I'm not friends with, to be sure. Just keeping it real. But there are people here that I've come to be very, very close friends with, and there are people here that I've absolutely come to love. And those people, when you're there, you've got that person's back, right? And I find it amazing that if we're all fighting the same demon, so to speak, right? Take us, for instance. right? We're all fighting addiction, right? And I think that it's fairly I think it's fairly safe to say that it's easy to hate addiction more than just about anybody else that could show up here on this channel, right? We can all agree on that. Addiction sucks. It's very easy to hate addiction. So here on the lifeboat, we try to keep the really petty, stupid stuff as much as possible out of the comment section, because we have this boogeyman that's real. We're losing 350 people a day to drug overdoses in this country. We got a real freaking boogeyman, and it's one that we need to address, right? That's what we're doing here. We're trying to help one another stay sober. That's the goal. It's etched in stone, right? It doesn't change. There's nothing different about that ever. And we try to help people live their best lives. We want people to never be addicted or to be controlled by anything, whether that is addiction to gambling, whether that's booze, whether that's drugs, whether that's sex, whether that's a power organization that is keeping you from living your best life. And there are so many different organizations out there, like cults, like the Church of Scientology, but they come in a million flavors. I mean, let's keep it real. They come in a million flavors, right? But the goal here is through connection to make sure that that doesn't happen. Let's keep it real. If you are doing anything right now, anything, and you think, you know what, this is a great thing. I go in, we're working on some communication skills. They're teaching me a little bit more about coming out of my shell and how to be a better. The first time they tell you that you need to separate from people that you care about, the first time they even surreptitiously try to steer you away from the people in your life, run like hell. Run like hell. That's never a good thing. You understand? That's never a good thing. It isn't. I had to walk away from all of the people in my life that I used to do dope with. And people would say, you turned your back on your friends. I got news for you. They weren't friends. I'd love to pretend that they were, but they weren't. They were people I got high with. I have friends that I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours with in my life. And I'm closer to you people who I've never, in many cases, been in the same room with. Right? We're all pulling in the same direction. We're all pulling for something positive. And that really is unique. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's a beautiful thing. So let's do what we can. Seriously, let's do what we can to make sure that with all of the BS and the drama that goes on, that we don't lose sight of the big stuff here. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? And remember, we've had this conversation before. It's real easy to whack a comment without whacking a human being. You feel me, wrenches? You can whack a comment and not whack a human being. Let's give the human being a chance. Let's not give comments a chance. Andrew says, new sub here. Andrew, glad that you're here. Welcome. Happy to have you. Mary, good to see you. As we start to go forward down this sobriety run, right? As we start to walk forward into this, it's not a marathon, people. It's not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's the rest of your life, and it's one foot in front of another every single day from now until they punch your ticket. Right? My goal is that box gets closed without me ever sticking a needle in my arm again. Right? I don't want to ever get high on pain medication again as long as I live. Right? Yep. What is the black button for? Which black button are we referring to? I have a black button. If I have one, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. I got you. Growing up in Scientology, who the hell is this guy? We have no security here at the lifeboat. If this does not prove that anybody can get on board the boat, this is Aaron, my man. It's perfect timing. Let's see if we can get him up there. This is how well. There we go. Growing up in Scientology. Thank you for your video, brother. You are the best. Aaron, it is an honor, man. Glad that you're here. And hope you're having a good time on your vacation. You have absolutely earned it. And you've been a class act through this entire, you know what? People could call it an ordeal, I think, Aaron, but you have been a class act. And I'll take that a step farther and say that Aaron's been a class act from the day that I met him, which, you know what? It's high praise from me. If you get to know me for any length of time, you'll come to realize that I just don't dig a lot of people. It's sadly, it's maybe an affectation of the life that I've lived, but I just don't really dig a lot of people. But Aaron is one of them. So while doing a show on friendship, I think it's apropos because I do consider Aaron a close friend and the real thing, which is so damn rare to find in this day and age, man. Friendship is leave no man behind in my book. Yeah, you know what? I like that. I really do. So I have found friends on the same level that I get. Good. I love that. I really do. Look at this. You got to love this. Boy, oh boy. Gotcha, A.A. Ron. You see this? There's a lot of this going around. A.A. Ron. We love and support you. Hello, A.A. Ron. Boy, we could do this all night. We really could. Kimberly Holly, good to see you. Glad that you're here. Chris says, Aaron, I love your channel. Didn't actually throw an A.A. Ron in there. We're going to let it slide. We'll let him get away with the Aaron thing. Hey, actually caught you live twice in one day. I'm almost always the replay. Pup Groomer 20, good to see you. Glad that you are here. For those of you who don't know, A.A. Ron is on the other side of the pond. I'm jealous as hell. He's over from in Great Britain enjoying himself, and we will miss him until he is back. But he's a class act, and I'm proud to call the man a friend. Truthfully, I am. Can't wait to see what Aaron can do. Well, you know what? I think we will. Gord says, "Holy crap! The other air quotes chat is imploding. It's sad. You know what? I don't hope that on anybody. I really don't. People, I really have absolutely nothing but desire for everybody. You know, yeah. I would like it to. I would like everybody to just kind of get along." Cos Wallop said, Tommy, is it true you came out of the closet? I've been wanting to express my feelings to my family and friends, but I'm afraid they won't truly accept me. I'm so frustrated over it. Well, Cos Wallop, I would suggest that you need to be true to who you are. I'm not gay, but if I were, it would not be something that I would want to keep in the closet. Anything about who I am at this point, I wouldn't want. I wouldn't want anything that was kept away from the real world. That's a tough way to live. And the beautiful thing is, I think that in the year we live in, Codswallop, if that's if that is how you feel, then it's just time to come out to family and friends. I'd be surprised if you're not accepted. No, I just came out as a bank robber and a drug addict, but I think you should do what's right for you. Snotface, thank you so much. Snot gifted another membership. You got to stop doing that, hun. You do that a lot, and it is appreciated. But my goodness, you got to love Snotface, and you got to love just being Snotface all the time. I love that. I really do. It's just such a fun thing. 100% Team AA Ron. I like it. I like it. I happen to be a pretty big fan of them. And you know something? I think it's important to realize, right, so that we don't lose sight of this, that I absolutely am I am in Aaron's corner on this, right? But make no mistake, Aaron never really tried to say that there's this corner and that corner. He really has stayed above the fray on this. He wants nothing more than for this organization to continue to do beautiful things. I don't see the animosity. I don't see any reason for the animosity. we're all on the same team, right? I mean, that really is the idea, right? The enemy here is a fake church that doesn't pay taxes, right? That's the enemy in all this, and I think we can all agree that what really is going on is that they're doing everything within their power to divide and conquer, and if they can have half of SPTV hating the other half of SPTV, well, wouldn't that just be fantastic, right? I don't think we buy into that, right? I hope that the Aftermath Foundation continues to do fantastic work. And I know that Aaron feels the exact same way. So let's not let them create BS animosity that doesn't exist. Let's not allow them to to create this this sort of this hatred, because I don't buy it. I really don't. I think if there's any animosity at all, it's pointed in the direction of that vertically challenged garden gnome. That's the crew. I mean, we're talking about some semantics, right? We're talking about, I mean, the important stuff, people, I think we can all be in agreement on, and that's that this organization is evil. And I don't just mean, what they do to separate families. I'm talking about things far, we're talking about human trafficking. Look at some of the cases that are currently open right now, right? This is pretty heavy stuff, right? This is pretty heavy stuff. You know what? See, and this, I respect this. Victoria Morris says, I watched VFG channel for a few minutes to hear their side. I listened to Mike for a minute. BS, then unsubscribe to both channels. You know what, people? And that's what all of you should do. I'm not saying unsubscribe, but what all of you need to do is go and listen to everybody's side of this, hear what people have to say, pick and choose, and then figure out, what you want to do, and then support the organizations you think need to be supported. And if your choice is, I'm going to support A and I am not going to support B, right? There should be a rule. No circular firing squads, right? Don't harm one another. Don't make them happy by harming one another. Let's not talk about what dirtbags these people are or what dirtbags those people are. If you feel like you don't want to support them, unsubscribe, that's great. But let's not give them the win of bad mouthing one another and talking about how bad we all suck. There's nothing that they would like more. You realize that. I promise you, they're doing everything within their power to foment, right, that kind of crap. They very much would like to foment disharmony so that all parties start to crap all over each other, right? If we're not getting along, if we're treating each other poorly, then we're not focused on the enemy, right? And we don't want that to happen. And that's that. Golf, I respect that. Right? I mean, if you can watch, you can not watch, you can figure it out. Look, I'll be really honest. The Doodle Queen says, "Come on, Aaron, let's get this new foundation going. I'll be the first to donate." I believe that there are a lot of people with similar sentiment, and I think that I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to come of this. I think that this will be a situation that when this is said and done, and this is all over, it's going to be better, not worse, right? Mary Heckler says, Reese was on earlier. I love her take on all of this. It's just sad to me. I haven't seen Relatable Reese on this yet, but I will watch it. I do watch Reese pretty often, actually. It's not face. No, I'm not. No, you know something? Everybody here is entitled to do to their own opinion. And you know what? No one's gonna say anything bad about one another here. We're not gonna let that happen. I promise. I'm of the firm belief, right? You want to unsubscribe to somebody, it is your business. It really is. And I respect it. What we can't do is fling mud. You want to unsubscribe, just quietly do it, right? Vote that way. That's fine, right? I would love to do a live with Reese. I'm sure that will happen at some point. We've been texting back and forth, but it's kind of yeah, we just haven't put it together. But I think that we will. I agree with you. There's a lot. The optics of a lot of this stuff, right? Absolutely no two ways. Absolutely no two ways. There's a lot. The optics on this suck. The visual is just, it's not good. And I don't know that it's getting better. You know what though? We can do a pretty good job, right? I think honestly, I think Aaron's doing a pretty good job. You know. Snotface says, I still love Tony Ortega and his information that he gives. Sorry, all. I've been a Church of Scientology watcher for years. No reason to be sorry, Snot. You're good. You know what? Look, everybody can have an opinion. We can all get along. I promise you, especially here on the boat. You know, we can agree to disagree on things. I think that's healthy as hell. I really do. What I think is essential is that we don't allow them to win. And I promise you that if we begin to argue over which camp is good and how the other camp sucks, and we're not going to support them, and those people are dishonest, and those people are whatever, then they're winning, right? They're winning. The enemy in this is cut and dry. The enemy in this separates family. The enemy in this traffics in human beings, right? They get people to sign billion-year friggin' contracts, right? The enemy in this is really pretty cut and dry. There shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. So if your approach to attacking the enemy is a little different than mine, fan-freaking-tastic, right? Even if we happen to have tried to do it together. If it's a little different with how we're doing it, okay. Do I think they handled their exit correctly? No, I think it sucked. But doesn't mean that we're not all on the same side. And I hope that the Aftermath Foundation does amazing things. I hope that when there is no longer a Church of Scientology, that people will be high-fiving and talking about how great the Aftermath Foundation had a hand in bringing them down. I think that would be fantastic. We can all maybe just get along. Of course, no one can explain. Comment. This is why I fear connection. I watched them all and will continue. I don't understand how people taking things like this so personally. Can someone please explain? Truthfully, here's what happens. There are people out there. There are people out there for whom it's funny, isn't it? I mean, it is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. How do you explain why somebody gets so invested or so emotional? And the truth is that this is just part of how some people live. And I've always described it within the rehabilitation community as people who thrive on drama, and really, it's a part of their life. It's something that is so crucial to who and what they are, that the smallest things can be blown into the largest, bigger than life, because it gives them that traction. When you become a YouTuber, you come to realize that, you get emails from people. Golf X-ray, you look great in green. You get emails from people that will say things to you where they're so angry about a video or something that you said, and you think, my God, what have I done? How could this be as big a thing as it is? But everyone's different, folks. Everybody is different. And I'll be the first to tell you right now that I'm not the most balanced person in the entire world, right? I went and saw professional help last week, or actually this week, because of a bit of a meltdown. Right? I'm still in recovery, and I struggle. Fortunately, I didn't do anything stupid. I didn't relapse. I didn't break any laws. I didn't do anything. I ran down and asked for help. But we're all a little different, and everybody brings a slightly different life experience into this, and then we find ourselves in the middle of something that is high test in terms of what it brings out emotionally. If you've ever had the pleasure or the honor of meeting any of the second gens and having an idea of what this organization has done to these people, it will piss you off for the rest of your time on this earth. I assure you it will. It has to me, right? Big time. So you become very emotionally invested in this. And when you see people trying to help folks get out, if people start to quibble about, oh, maybe if you did this, more people could be helped, or if you were doing it that way, it can become a very, very emotionally filled thing, right? I'm not saying it's right, people. I'm saying I get it. I get it. I get heated as hell, right? I've never been in this, but I'll jump in my car and I'll drive and I'll drive for 10 hours to go stand with a sign out there because I think this is an evil group of people. I'm going to keep fighting this as long as I can, right? It means that much to me, and I wasn't in it. Can you imagine what it must feel like to those who are? And for a lot of us, I can't understand how much more personal this is to them than it is to me. I try to understand because this is something that is important to it's something that's important to me. What can I help you with, Snotface? Let's try right now. Let's talk right now. Snot, I think it'd be a hell of a time to start talking. So let's talk about alcohol, people. Of all of the substances on planet Earth, this is one that more people that I talk to struggle with, truthfully, than anything else. I spend a lot of time talking about fentanyl and a lot of the fake pills that are on the street right now because they're killing 350 people a day. I find that frightening, right? But more realistically, the vast majority of people who need help need it from alcohol. And it's because it's ubiquitous, right? You can buy it everywhere. They advertise it at football games, right? Halftime shows, billboards, everywhere you look, right? And it is considered a part of society, right? If we culminate a great deal, what do? We pop a bottle of champagne, right? If your team is playing this weekend, what do? We grab a couple of cases, right? Okay, well, for some people, just a couple of beers, a couple of glasses of wine. It's no big deal. But like everything else, for some people, there is a malfunctioning reward center of the brain. And when that alcohol touches your lips, that malfunctioning reward center of the brain sends down a very similar cocktail to what it sent down the first time you were handed your baby by a doctor or a nurse. And I'm not making this up, or I'm not saying that this is over the top. This is literally what happens. A cocktail of the greatest brain chemicals known to man all get flushed down at once. And in essence, these chemicals are there to tell you to do what you're doing. In other words, those chemicals are there so that when you created fire the first time, your brain threw so many feel-good chemicals that you thought, this is the most important thing that I have ever done, right? Oh, they deleted you for saying that it was a one-sided conversation? Well, it doesn't sound like much of a conversation, Karen. I'm sorry to hear that. So once you get, alcohol is not your friend. It really isn't. It's a horrendous substance. It dries out every cell in your body, believe it or not. Literally, that's what alcohol does, right? It dries out every single bit of liquid out of every cell in your body, which is why you wake up with a hangover and go, right? Like you feel like you're going to die. The malfunctioning reward center of your brain is telling you that alcohol is as important as food. It's as important as taking care of your baby. It's as important as anything. Do you understand? The malfunctioning reward center of your brain says that it is more important than anything. This is why a person who is in full-blown alcoholism, or whatever euphemism you want to call it these days, right? alcohol abuse disorder, whatever. You are in the process of having the shakes, the delirium tremens, right? You're going to need about 6 or 7 ounces of alcohol into your system to get those shakes to go away. But when you pick up the bottle and it touches your lips, you don't have to wait for anything instantly. And I've watched it happen with so many people in my life. They get the first sip and their hand stops, right? And all of a sudden, like there's the big breathe out. Well, obviously the alcohol has not touched them yet, but the chemicals in the brain have. And those chemicals in the brain are the same things you get high on. If you're buying cocaine, it's turning a receptor that's throwing a chemical into your brain. If you're doing heroin, the mu receptor is kicking chemical into the brain, right? All of these receptors. Okay, well, you can get the exact same thing by a malfunctioning reward center, which is what happens, snot face, with booze. And fortunately, these days, there is some technology out there that is suggesting a way of shutting down the malfunctioning reward center of the brain. Unlike Antabuse, which is a drug you can take so that if you were to consume alcohol, you get violently ill, right? You get very hot and flushed. Your face gets very red. It'll make you vomit. It really is an awful feeling. As opposed to that, this drug just turns off your brain's ability to reward you for that first drink or the second drink or any of the others. So you can still get drunk. The alcohol will still do the same thing to the body, right? Make no mistake, it will. But you won't get that feel-good chemical. It won't say, ooh, there you go, right? You will not get that feel-good. And this has had incredible effects for a lot of people. However, it's a struggle because with most doctors these days, they're not going to start treating you for that until you are already detoxed and sober. And this starts a process that is hard because getting detox these days is a difficult thing. There are not a lot of companies that seem to want to get you through that first 72 hours to 5 days, which is the important part. But that is there any questions, not pace, that I have left out of the alcohol talk? One of the things that I would advise anybody is harm reduction. And this is something I catch a lot of crap every time I talk about. But if you intend to quit down the road, if you intend to put down your substance of choice, especially if that substance of choice is alcohol, right? You don't have to quit today, right? But you most assuredly can begin the process of harm reduction. So if you're somebody that is drinking 2 12-packs a day, try to drink 2 beers less today than you did yesterday. Thank God it did, Hope Between the Dreams, right? I have not. But I'll tell you what I will do is I will absolutely look into it, Art and Courts, and maybe one of the next times we're here, we can have that conversation because I'd be more than happy to look into that for you so that we can have a talk about that. I would love that. Oh, Pruno's tough, man. Yeah, anything made in prison is kind of tough. Harm reduction is a great start. Now, a lot of people say that it's all or nothing, right? If you're not going to quit. Now, here's the deal, people. I'm not suggesting that you cut down and spend the rest of your life continuing to drink. I do not advocate that. However, if you're not ready to quit today, why not cut down today? It is possible with alcohol. It's possible with a lot of things. It really is. Now, can you wean yourself completely off? No, I've never seen that work. I haven't. But who cares, right? If you have a 5.5 a day habit, and by the time you get ready to start trying to go and seek some medical assisted treatment or whatever the case may be, you're down to a 1/2 fifth. Well, that's harm reduction, and it is a beautiful thing, right? Cut down on the drugs that you're doing, cut down on the amount that you're doing, how often you're doing them. Anything that you can do with harm reduction is huge. And it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing in the beginning, people. It really doesn't. It's about starting the process. It is about starting the process of cutting back and of giving yourself the best chance that you've got for success. Because to be really honest, if you got a much better chance of quitting from a fifth a day than you do from 2/5 a day. You have a much better chance of quitting from a six pack a day than you do a case. This isn't rocket science, right? So let's try to get down as much as possible. Well, you know what? I went to a lot of meetings where when I got to the door, people would say, you can't come in, you look high. With all due respect, no shit, I'm high. Like, what the hell would I be here if I wasn't high? Right? I need help. And they turn you away. That didn't make sense to me. And I started to believe in harm reduction, and I started to believe in other things. Like, look, man, if somebody that's to a meeting that I'm doing on the street, if someone's coming to a meeting I'm doing in real life, and this person comes in and says, you know what, I'm shooting up 4 times a day. I'm stealing to get the drugs. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what's going on. Blah 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 blah. Right. I'm going to hand that dude a bag of clean syringes. If you think me handing that guy a bag of clean syringes makes him shoot dope, then you're an ignoramus. What it does is it allows him to shoot dope with a needle that no one else has used, which may mean that he doesn't spread AIDS or hepatitis C or kill himself in the process of getting high until we can get him properly treated to where he's off the drug. Harm reduction would be a clean, right? Harm reduction would be water that he's not getting out of a puddle, right? A cooker that isn't the bottom of a beer can he pulled out of a dumpster. You understand that we can't save somebody that's dead, right? Once someone takes their last breath, this is the first time you've heard of harm reduction. Well, there's not a lot of people that dig it, I think. Sadly, I just don't think a lot of people are pushing for it, because what they think is free crack pipes, right? They think harm reduction, and they think, give them needles. There are people on this planet who believe that a needle exchange program, like there's a kid walking down the street today going, what are you doing? On my way to the rec center, I'm going to shoot a little pool. Holy hell, it's a needle exchange program. I'm going to go in and get some needles, and then I'm going to go find some heroin for the first time ever, and I'm going to shoot some dope. Because since this place gives away needles, obviously now I'm going to try heroin. Like, there are people who believe this. There are people who believe that by handing out clean works, you're actually going to be bringing new drug users into the equation. What you're doing by this, the purpose of this harm reduction, is so that somebody walks in and you don't say to them, you're a dirty, degenerate junkie. You should be in prison. What the hell is wrong with you? Because this is what this person's been hearing their entire life. The person walks in and you say, hey, man, you want 20 or 30 syringes. How often are you shooting? All right, here you go. You want some clean water? Comes in little disposable stuff. So you're not having to try to, get stuff out of a puddle or out of the back of a toilet or whatever. Sure. Okay. How about any hygiene? You want some soap, whatever. Why are we doing this? Because addicts don't trust anybody other than addicts. But if this person comes back 2 or 3 times and gets to the point where they trust the person that's handing them this stuff, right? Then when you say, hey, you know what? I can get you off of this stuff, right? And you won't even have to get sick. But you're going to have to go see a doctor, and you're going to have to trust this doctor, man. Have I lied to you? Have I ever tried to set you up? Have I ever tried any BS? Huh? Just go and listen to this doctor, because medical assisted treatment might save your life. And I'll tell you something. You know why we're here today? Because medical assisted treatment saved my life. Right? I was that guy. I was the dude that needed that help. But you don't trust people until you trust people. And getting the trust of someone who is addicted to heroin or addicted to fentanyl is a difficult thing to do. And you do it by meeting people where they live, by giving them what they need, and by building a level of trust with somebody. You understand? It's starting to build trust, and you do that by meeting them where they live. Most people wouldn't dream of going down to the hood. You know what I mean? So when you're down there in a backfilled alley and there's 2 inches of needles laying on the street, and it's just a disgusting place that no one on planet Earth wants to be. And you're there with a smile on your face, meeting these people and saying, hey, you know what? I used to do 7 grams a day of that crap. You can beat this, right? You can beat this. And I'm not trying to drag you off to rehab today. I'm just making sure you got clean needles. I don't want to see you all abscessed up, right? Someday people will get a good look at my arms. I'll show you what my arms look like, right? Because I was that guy, my arms are about as heinously scarred. Well, you can see right there, just a little dose of it, right? I mean, that's everywhere. And that's just, that's what happens when you're in that life. But when somebody is willing to meet you there, and someone is willing to say, you know what, man, you're not a loser. You're in a bad place, but you're not a loser. But the first thing we got to do is make sure that you're not going to die from a dirty needle, right? Because holy hell, when you're picking this stuff up off the ground, I can't save you if you're dead. Would you be willing to take a bag of clean needles from me? Now, this may sound stupid as hell to the rest of the world, but if you've ever had a drug habit, right? It sounds like an angel. Tommy Bird says, medical assisted treatment saved my life too. I was definitely that guy, and I'd be just another dead guy today without it. I fought treatment for years. I wish an addict would have told me about it. I might have listened. Me too, right? Me too. Yeah, it really is a huge thing. It's a very, very important thing. And I'm so glad that we both got out, because it is it's not an easy thing. Snotface, I'm not a real fan of people who call the police. I've talked about this many times on the boat, and this is just a residual of my previous life, I guess. But I really struggle with that. I'm sorry that happened to you. I really, I'm sorry that happened. It's we need free treatment for everybody. Hey, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. But you know something? If you're trying to get treatment, and what has kept you from getting treatment is money, then you reach out, right? The email is sober@myyahoo.com. SOBER@myyahoo.com. We have worked miracles for literally over 100 individuals. It happens. It's we've been very, very blessed. One individual just stepped in and did wonders to help a lot of people get into medical assisted treatment, and it is it's just a beautiful thing. So, but there are programs out there for people. If you really want help, it's a beautiful thing right now. This is probably the best times ever, right? If you are in a really, really bad place, then this is the time to be reaching out, because there are so many programs and things that are there to help. Yeah. Mischief. It's it's a crap world, and the politics don't make it easier. It does not. If you've got the membership, please don't feel the need to thank me. Thanks, Snot. Appreciate you. I really do. People, we're a little early. I am going to be calling it a little early this evening. The reason being, I've got some really, really important stuff that we're going to be doing for the lifeboat. We're on fire. We have hit 12,000 people today. Had a really, really great day here on the lifeboat. We have passed 12,000, which is, my goodness, people. If you had told me 1,200, I wouldn't have believed it. I was talking to Mark Wages. We were emailing each other, and Mark was the co-founder of the boat with me way back in the early days, and just marveling at how far we've come. Tommy, I was really addicted to Percocet. I was referred to Celebrate Recovery by my doctor. It worked great. Celebrate Recovery has done amazing things for a lot of people. It isn't for everybody because there is a faith-based aspect to it, right? I happen to believe very strongly in the program. I think it's a great one, but I don't push it on anybody because of the religious element to it. But I am a firm believer that it is a excellent program. I believe that. Misha, I love you. I really do. Misha says we beat ourselves up just as much as we fight the addiction. The ignorant abuse people don't even create is unnerving. I understand my reasons. I'll be here to hear yours if I can. I love you. You know what? And Misha does get it. People more than the next. I promise you. More than the next. Yeah, Tim. The places that you honestly can't think of a place that you can stick a needle on a body that I have. I mean, that's what just happens towards the end. You know what? There's a lot of lives connected to this boat. There really are. We've been blessed as hell. There's a lot of connection to this boat, and that is all of you, each and every one of you. And I want to thank you. You're a heck of a crew. You know that, and all of the people that come here, they all say the same thing every single time, man. What a great group of people, man. I felt like I was home the second I got there. I never felt like I didn't belong. I felt like it was an us versus them. I felt like I had been there forever. Ramona, I'm glad that you are, and I'm glad that you're here because I promise you, Ramona, we're relying on you the same way. It's kind of how the boat goes, right? It's the circle. It doesn't have a start. It doesn't have a finish, right? We all sort of just hop into the middle of this thing and we run around in circles helping one another and asking for help at the same time. And it seems to work, right? All right. So to all of you, the cat's not in the basket, but she did make an appearance earlier. If you have not seen the video that I did earlier for AA Ron, go and watch it because I'll be honest, I think we did a good job on it. We didn't offend. I didn't pick on anybody. On the people that let him go, I didn't do any of that. I didn't. I just it's about friendship, and that's my friend, right? So you did not just do the Jolly Caucus. You know what? Not, I love you. Backward, forward, outward, inward, bottom to the top. Never a beginning. There can never be a stop. All right, peeps. We'll see you on the next one. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. That was a joke.